Alright, day 11 of posting a video every day for 100 days straight. And today we are going to be talking about a movie I recently saw, which is Snowden, starring, I have no idea who the actor's name was. But basically, based on a true story, and I thought this was another really interesting movie to talk about. This one is basically about a guy, Eric. Well, okay. I keep thinking his name's Eric, but it's actually Edward Snowden. He basically does a lot of research and determines that, the government's watching everything you do with all the technology. And it's like, yeah, obviously nowadays you're thinking like, well, yeah, we obviously knew that, but it's like back when this movie took place in like the early 2000s, not a lot of people really knew that. And he basically was the one that came up, determined that they're watching every little thing you do and that you're being watched even if you're not doing anything wrong. And that it's kind of messed up though. And that the government, they'll defend it, but at the end of the day it's still happening and it's not right. And this guy, he leaked a lot of documents confirming this. And then he ended up having to get well he ended up getting well he I don't know exactly how he did it, but like he he somehow became a resident of like Russia now, and like Russia like protects him or something. He has like residency like renewed every now and so often to live in Russia or whatever now, because like America just wants this guy like arrested, I think. And which, I mean, it's like I can kind of understand it because it's like he did leak a lot of information that wasn't supposed to get leaked. But then again, it's like I don't know, man. It's like this information he brings up is very, very interesting because it's like, as I said, you're being watched even if you're not doing anything wrong. And it's like that's a lot of invasion of privacy right there. So it's like, yeah, maybe it was illegal for him to leak the documents, but it's like if he hadn't leaked those documents, then we might not have known this, or we may have found out when it was before, way after it was late. Meaning that if he hadn't figured it out at that time, then we might not have been able to I guess what's the word for it? More of it may have been worse if he hadn't figured it out at that time. It's not saying that we wouldn't have figured it out eventually, because I think it's one of those things that I think somebody would have figured it out eventually if he hadn't. But we also may have been in a worse scenario today than if we had figured that out later, if he hadn't been the one to figure that out. So, I mean, yeah, it really, and it was really interesting because it's like when he was doing like the little statement video that he was releasing, he he made sure that like he was in his hotel room, he had the do not disturb sign, and he had all the windows blocked, and everybody in the room had put their phone in the microwave because apparently like it can't see you through the phone can't track you through the microwave or whatever. Which I thought it sounds goofy, but I guess it kind of makes sense because it's like you don't want any kind of technology to watch you do this, because technically what the statement that he was making is like leaking stuff that technically is illegal and he shouldn't be leaking out to the public. So he wanted to make sure it was like private as hell. And then he basically gave all the information to the journalists that were gonna write all this stuff in the paper, and he figured out a way to like, well, because he had like a lot of access to all like the documents that weren't supposed to be put out there. But like it was interesting how he did it, because it's like he actually, you'll see in the movie that he has his Rubik's Cube, but I won't spoil that. But I will just say the Rubik's Cube in the movie is a really important feature. So pay attention to that. But Yeah, he basically just, after he records everything and it's all published, he basically disables all the access to the files. Well, he disables his access to all the files and basically trusts the publishers to, you know, do their job. And that's really a critical moment right there, because it's like you found all this information and now you're going to trust somebody else to publish what you believe in. Because it's like, you don't know. I mean, they could publish it favoring you, could publish it against you. You don't know. I mean, shit. I mean, I think they did publish it favoring him, but I mean, the government didn't favor him, though. I will say that, because yeah, he would. It was interesting because at the end that he had a live conference call from Russia saying that he would come back to America if he was given a fair trial to explain all this, but yeah, he said at that time, and probably still today, he's probably not going to get a fair trial if he did come back to the country. So it's a wild story, but it's a really important one, I think, because really everything you do is being watched or surveillance in some kind of way. Well, if some kind of technology is around you, it always can track you. So it's like, just be careful with what you do, because you never know when they're gonna see you and when they won't. So I'll just leave it at that, though. Overall, great movie, though. I think it's wonderful. Well, okay, not wonderful, but like it's a good story to tell, for people that are unaware of some of this stuff, I think. But I mean, we live in a world where I think we probably already know this by now, but it's a good reminder, I think. But, that's overall great movie. Great movie. Definitely would recommend watching Snowden if you ever get a chance. But hey, let me know. Did you like Snow? Have you seen Snowden? Have you liked it? Do you like it? You hate it? Did you like this video? If you do, definitely like and subscribe, follow for more stuff like this. And other than that, we'll see you in the next one.